Hey, so for the most part, I don't like talking smack about other authors. I try to avoid it. In fact, in my books on world building, I don't even like to say bad world building. I like to say effective or ineffective. But today we are going to talk about bad world building, and we're going to pick on one author in particular. Hi, I'm Matt, and once a week I break down world building techniques, tricks, and tips, often by building the world on the fly, but not so much today. And today we are going to look at bad world building from the author Richard Scarry, which I wonder if anyone even remembers, but I do, and we're going to talk about this in just a second. Okay, so we're going to keep this short today, mainly because I am still on the tail end of a sore throat and it kind of hurts to talk. So when you are a parent, you read loads of kids' books, including these hand-me-downs from Richard Scarry, who's got also the Little Golden Books series, a whole bunch of those. These books are really old. They were from my childhood, and my parents kept them, and now I am reading them. And when you're a parent reading kids' books, you spend a lot of time thinking about them because you're going to read them over and over and over again. So when I said that we're going to critique this and it's about bad world building, keep in mind that this is very tongue-in-cheek. These are kids' books. These are not fantasy books, but they are great examples of bad world building. Sorry, that break there, that was not great. Anyways, Richard Scarry, just a quick note, he wrote over 300 kids books between 1955 is the first book that I have from him, and up through the 80s, died in 92. He had 300 books, sold enough that he could buy a chalet in Switzerland, so pretty successful. And my kid absolutely loves these books, even though I don't, because things like this best world book ever, or best book ever takes forever to read. It just goes on and on and on. And the major problem with these and all of his books are the anthropomorphic animals. Anthropomorphic animals are really difficult to work with, as kind of noted by Zootopia, because the idea that we evolved from apes, so all these other animals are going to end up exactly the same, convergent evolution, all of them, being humanoid. It just makes a lot of problems, like prehensile thumbs, what are they going to eat, society, class, apes were communal versus cats, you only have, lions are the only really communal ones. So all of this is kind of addressed in Zootopia, which is the best kind of anthropomorphic animals in something where their society is broken up by like the size of them, their habitats, you have a cold section, etc., their food sources, but still you have troubling things of like, where are they getting the milk from for their ice cream? Like, who's being milked in this world? Where's the food coming? Like, are they eating other anthropomorphic animals? Anyways, so yeah, that's one of the things that involved in the Scarry. And again, I'm picking on him, but he was actually very progressive for his time. One of the things that's kind of cool in it, but what I kind of like about it when I'm reading it is that dads are really part of the household. They do cleaning, they read stories to the kids, they are part of the child rearing. And as someone who's a stay-at-home dad, we're only 3% of the population. That's kind of cool to see representation, years and years ago, because, white males, we need a lot more representation than we're already getting. Anyways, so Scarry is the biggest thing. We're like this cat family that he has, the best first book ever series. It's got the family of cats and lowly worm right there. And so there's, anthropomorphic animals, some things that don't really make sense in it. You see like the cats are, buying vegetables and fruit, and cats are carnivores. They eat meat. Yes, there's, catnip and stuff, but that is not their diet. They eat meat. So, okay, questions about that. Did they evolve to become omnivorous? All right, whatever. Lowly worm, I think his name is really Lowly Worm. That is kind of on the nose. Anyways, he wears shoelaces and bow ties. And, and then he kind of explains, like, how did he tie his shoe? Oh, he's doing it with his mouth, but that bow tie is too close to the neck. Like, it's on his neck. There's no way he's building it. So, some of the problematic things of anthropomorphic animals right there, like, yeah, why are they even wearing clothes, fur and all that. Shoes, I was actually kind of proud of him. I thought that he showed them, like, oxes and stuff wearing shoes even though they have hooves, but they do not, so good on him. But the one that's the most kind of egregious, and why I put this into bad world building, again, big old quotes on that bad, is this Little Bear book. All right, this one right here. The story is dad is telling his kid, or is playing with his kid, trying to put him to bed, and is just playing imaginary make-believe, like, oh, where is my son? I can't see him on the back of my neck, and I'm searching the house for him. Cute story. My son absolutely loved it. But there were two little things that were really, really weird in it. The first one was like they're looking and they look outside, and oh, look, there's just these rabbits, and oh, that's not my son, it's just these rabbits rummaging through my garden. Like, these are clothed rabbits. That means that they're anthropomorphic as well. So it's just kind of brushed off in the story, but like, there's people stealing from his garden. Are they poor people? Why are there? He just says, shoo, oh, go away, you little rabbits. Rabbits are in the garden. That's what rabbits are. It starts making you question, like, do rabbits just steal in this world? Are they like anthropomorphic rats? Because then the next thing we see are this little mouse. They get scared of this mouse. They jump out of, So this is a naked mouse? Is it, is this a anthropomorphic mouse that just doesn't have any clothes, and is that why they're scared of it? Or are they just scared of mice in general, as we are, because we're humans and don't like rats and rodents and our stuff? This starts making you wonder a lot of things about, again, with naked mouse, are there two forms of animals? Some are anthropomorphic, others are just there for food, and some are evolved. So is this like the equivalent of us eating apes, which we do kind of sometimes? So it makes a lot of questions, a lot of things you start wondering about. All the implications, like, are there class structures? What is okay to eat? Things that were kind of addressed in Zootopia, but are they here? I'm really wondering. I've spent a lot of hours on this book, and I still don't know the answer. And for the most part, all these questions shouldn't really matter, because these books, they're for kids. They are not for the adults that are reading them, though we are the ones who are actually reading them. So anyways, and the fact that you need to know your audience is really important, which is why on my world building book, the first questions I ask are, who is your intended audience and what is your intended genre or subgenre? Because these things really, really matter. The amount of poking and prodding the audience is expected to do depends on the audience themselves. So, Star Wars is space opera, well, ships just fly. Who cares about fast and light travel? It doesn't really matter. Versus a hard science fiction story about, well, this is the implications of the economic policy of having fast and light travel, which is because of this, which is breaking Einstein's law. When you have one of those, then you're going to need a lot more thought out, because you're aiming at adults that want hard science and are going to pick and prod, versus children who just like, yeah, okay, totally makes sense. Which is why Harry Potter, the original series, you get a pass for things like, oh, kids are trying to slip each other love potions, because that's kind of what kids do, and you don't have to think about it because these are kids, and these are kids as in the audience is kids, and so they're not going to think about it too much. Versus the Fantastic Beasts later, where you find out, no, she's just had him under a spell where he's slavishly loyal to her all this time, and they've probably had sex. A lot of creepier connotations and implications for that when the story is aimed at adults and not children. So with all that in mind, a tongue-in-cheek version of Richard Scarry's bad world building. Still great books, great for the kids, and should illustrate why you should always know your audience and why that can help you to build some better worlds.